Good morning, this is Eric Auger, live from my home office, and today's topic is I fell in love and I regretted it. No, don't worry, this has nothing to do with Yvette, nothing to do with my wife. You can breathe and relax. Here's a story. 2 years ago, I was preparing my body to compete for Warrior Week, which is a week-long military-style training camp for married businessmen designed to challenge us. And I literally started from zero. And when I mean zero, I really, really mean it. I never had a regular exercise regimen. I did not watch what I eat, nor how much I eat. I smoked cigarettes, I enjoyed my vodka, and to top it off, I was 20 pounds overweight. Now, to say that I was a heart attack waiting to happen is probably an understatement. But see, the thoughts, and at first the thought of having to run was so daunting, so difficult, that I would often stop before I even hit the front door. That is, until I set the goal to attend Warrior Week and to finish it. And so I decided that when I decided to complete the program, my goal was to do well, of course, and I did not want to be that guy who drags behind everybody, who gets picked on because he's the less fit of everybody else, and who slows down the entire unit. And that's when I decided I would start training. And so what happened is every morning, rain or shine, although it rains more often, it shines more often than it rains here in Vegas, but in the winter it gets pretty cold. By 4:30 a.m. I would hit the front door and I would go run. And I remember very clearly the first month was absolute hell. I was running 1 minute and I had to stop 1 minute to recuperate, catch my breath. I would run another minute and then I would have to stop again over and over again. I was probably running a 20-minute mile, which is probably the poorest performance you can think of. Once I passed that first month, I started gaining momentum. I started gaining strength. I started being able to breathe better and to run longer. And so what happened is, because again, Warrior Week was in my head and I wanted to do well, my goal was to make myself uncomfortable every time I'd experience comfort. And what that means by that is that if I felt comfortable running a 10-minute mile, then I would pick up the pace so that I would try to hit the 9:45 miles. If I started feeling too comfortable running on flat, I would change my course and find hills to run so I could run up and down. By the end of November, I had completed my training, completed the event, and I did really well considering that I was one of the 3 oldest men participating in the events. So when I got back to Vegas, I was like, well, what's next? And so I decided I would continue training because I kind of got a taste for it. And I hired a personal trainer, showed up at the gym every morning at 6 a.m., and it felt like torture for the first 2 weeks. It was like another level, of fitness that I was going for. And I remember her pushing me really, really hard. There was absolutely no time to fall in love with my performance, because every single time I hit a level, she would bump me up to the next level. There was absolutely no time for me to fall in love with my performance, with what I was doing. And I progressed really, really rapidly. Now, after 3 months of that, I decided that I knew enough about the different type of exercise and the machines to do it by myself. So I kept running. I started lifting weights, started, working on the machines, doing the exercise. But since something happened, I was stuck in a routine. I would repeat the same exercise every week. So Monday would be leg and Tuesday would be arm, and so on and so on and so on. And I started noticing that my body was no longer changing as rapidly as it used to. So I changed everything and started doing what I call HIIT training. HIIT training is actually a well-known form of training, short bursts of very, very high intensity followed by quick period of recuperation so that you can catch your breath, and then boom, another high intensity exercise, and so on and so on and so on. And lo and behold, I started becoming stronger, my forms and my endurance improved, and I stayed on the same program for about 3 months, and I was very pleased with myself. I was like, hey, I'm making progress again. I fell in love with what I was doing, not realizing that soon I would hit another plateau. And no matter what I did, my body wasn't changing, my endurance wasn't changing, my stamina was staying the same, and I started getting frustrated. That's when I discovered online, as I was playing online, a new training camp called Kokoro. Now, Kokoro is not for kids, it's for real men. This is the Navy SEAL pre-training program. A lot of the people who go to Hell Week to become Navy SEALs go to Kokoro first to train themselves. So it's really, really hardcore. And I set a goal to do Kokoro. So I downloaded the app. There are several apps that give you the steps to the Navy SEAL training on how to get to the level where you are just allowed to participate. Because if you don't hit a certain level, they won't take you. And so about a week ago, I started doing the Navy SEAL Fit training. And what I discovered was that I was not fit at all, at least not to the level I needed to be, because I couldn't finish the exercise. And it was a wake-up call for me. And I realized that in order to progress, I can't fall in love. I have to seek discomfort. And so the principle here is the following. When you fall in love with anything you do in life, you blind yourself to the possibility that's waiting for you. You don't even see it. You don't even know it's there, and you settle. It's true of your body. When you fall in love with it and you stop challenging your body, it stagnates. It stays where you are. It applies to spirituality. If you fall in love with your spiritual practice and the benefits that you get out of it, you become blind to the existence of the next level of mastery that exists for you. Money is no different. The moment you fall in love with your abundance or your lack thereof, because it is possible to fall in love with a lack of abundance, you become unaware that there is a peak waiting for you on the other side. And because you don't know it's there, you don't go after it. And of course, in relationships, the moment you fall in love with the depth of the relationships that you have with your wife, your children, your family member, your friends, you stop investing to the level you could, and you become blind to that next level of intimacy that exists for you. You see, falling in love with who you are, falling in love with your performance, your identity, prevents you from accessing your next best version of yourself. And so my advice to you is, the moment you start feeling comfortable with anything in your life, the moment you start telling yourself, man, I love what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, I love me, ask yourself the question, is this all I'm capable of? Is this it? Or what else can I do to seek discomfort in that arena so that I can discover what else is available for me? And with that formula, you keep on progressing and progressing and progressing. It's a never-ending progressing game. But here's where I see this happening also. I see that happening with homeowners who fall in love with their house. And honestly, I can't blame them, because oftentimes it's the place where they have memories, where kids were born, where they had gatherings, and they've invested themselves both in terms of money and emotionally in their house, and they fall in love with it, and they stop seeing the little things, the details, the things that could be improved, the things that are broken, that are worn out, that don't show as well as they could. And they go on market convinced that they have the best home on the block. And they're convinced that it will sell for an inflated price and that it will sell quickly. So they go on the market. The problem with this mindset is that buyers are a lot more critical of your house than you'll ever be. They are looking for those problems. You understand that they're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps even millions. They want to make sure that they're getting the best they can for their money. And so by the time your house is on the market, if you haven't paid attention to those flows, it's too late because the clock starts ticking. And if by misfortune your house does not sell, the only thing you can do is reduce the price and reduce the price and reduce until it hits a point where buyers start becoming curious about your house and can see it. The problem is that by that time, there's probably been 60, 90, or 120 days that went by. And when people walk through your house, even if your house shows well, the first question that they'll ask themselves is, man, why is this home hasn't sold? What's wrong with it? And what ends up happening is instead of getting their best offer, you get a lowball offer. They throw it at you to test you, to see if you are finally tired of waiting. And this is the reason why I created the simple approach to sell your house. It's a time-tested formula based on 4 principles that are guaranteed, and I mean guaranteed, to give you a quick sale, stress-free, and for the maximum possible price and profit possible. So with or without the simple approach to sell home, you must be objective with your house and you must refrain at all costs from falling in love. You must be critical of it. But if you've gotten with the simple approach to sell your house, you have a much higher chance at getting a stress-free experience, a quick sale, and maximizing your profit and the price of the sale of your house. So if that's what you really want, a high price, low stress, and a quick sale, head on to 4stepshomeselling.com. Watch the 4-part series video that will explain to you exactly how it works. And at the end of it, you'll be given an opportunity to apply. And I will receive the application, review it. And if I think you're a good fit for the simple approach to sell home, I will reach out to you and I'll deploy it, and you'll be happy. So this is all I have for you today. I will see you tomorrow in the next Facebook video podcast. Until then, have a great day. Cheers.